I've always prided myself on being the perfect husband. Even before we got married, I took full responsibility for resolving my wife's financial issues, treated her with the utmost respect, and tried to behave like a husband. Then it was time to plan a vacation for Marina. After thinking about it, we both settled on Georgia and a visit to the new bridge. Everyone who visited there highly recommended it, especially the monasteries, which were not so small, the beautiful sea, and the quaint little towns that created the authentic atmosphere of this country. Marina decided to take a friend with her, and we set off together. I borrowed the money for 2 weeks and then added a little more for good measure. Oh, and as for the wine, I made sure to ask her, "Don't forget to bring me at least 3 bottles, and if you can, grab a few more. They say that there are legends about drinks there." We agreed. "Whatever you say, my love. I'll choose the best for you." Marina waved goodbye and went on vacation with her friend. When I returned from the train station with my friend's husband, I suggested we celebrate, but he was a military man, very serious by nature, so we simply exchanged a few words and parted ways without much ceremony. During the entire trip, Marina kept sending me photos, mostly of nature and stunning architecture. It was all so beautiful and breathtaking. "I wish you were here with me," she wrote under every photo. I couldn't wait for her return. I had even planned a little surprise of my own. I bought a brand new coffee table for our apartment. Meanwhile, Marina also had her surprise ready for me, though as it turned out, nobody had any intention of telling me about it beforehand, and honestly, the surprise wasn't a pleasant one at all. The days passed quickly, and before I knew it, I was at the train station eagerly awaiting the arrival of my beloved. She and her friend got off the train, both bubbling with excitement. They were practically competing to tell me about how wonderful and gorgeous the trip had been, and how they would definitely return to the Sing Hotel next year. The location was perfect, everything was close by. The sea, a bus stop just under their window, and the most incredible view. And the terrace. "You'd love it." Marina kept going. I nodded along, agreeing that if we went back, I'd make sure we stayed there too. Little did I know, besides the terrace and the bus stop, there was something, or rather someone, else that was holding her interest. We bid farewell to her friend and her husband and started heading home. "So how's my wine?" I asked, barely able to contain my excitement. "Your wine is doing just fine, sitting in the trunk all snug in a big suitcase, just waiting for you to try it." Couldn't wait. Marina's first move was to rush to the bathroom, and I decided to crack open a bottle. I opened the suitcase and began pulling out the bottles. There were 4 in total, each one carefully wrapped. 2 in towels, 1 in a scarf, and the 4th in a sports jacket. I pulled them out one by one, inspecting each one with curiosity, and that's when I was hit with a surprise. Money fell out from the pocket of the sports jacket. I wouldn't have thought much of it except that there was a lot of it. How could this be? Normally, after a vacation, you'd expect a few leftover coins, but here I was, staring at an entire pile of cash. I counted it, and my jaw almost hit the floor. It was almost exactly the same amount I had handed Marina 2 weeks ago. She had spent practically nothing. I couldn't shake the feeling that my entire contribution had gone solely into buying this wine. Were they really away for half a month? I tossed the money back into my pocket, closed the suitcase, and took out the wine, trying to distract myself with a taste to push away the unsettling thoughts. I even told myself that maybe the money belonged to my friend. Perhaps she had stayed there longer and saved up for a joke or some silly reason. But the next day at work, I was a mess. I couldn't focus on a single task. The image of that money falling out of the pocket just wouldn't leave my mind. Couldn't calm down. I decided to check out the hotel where Marina was staying and read the reviews. The owner of the hotel had an active social media page. There were a lot of photos from all sides which depicted different people, and the most recent ones, well, they mostly depicted Marina and her friend, and they all had the same theme. A man hugging both girls against a backdrop of various attractions. Most of the pictures were taken against the background of tables and nightclubs, and the signatures had heroic, transcendental phrases like, "My guests should enjoy their vacation," "I'm showing my dear guests all the sights," and "A satisfied guest is a joy for the host." It made my stomach turn. Sweat broke out on my forehead, especially after I remembered Marina's words that they didn't go to clubs but only to the sea or on excursions. Do I need to say more? I called Marina's friend and asked for a meeting. I told her that I forgot to give something to her husband and I would like to give it to her. Then I found those photos from social media. She hesitated at first but eventually confessed. She knew that if something came up, I would tell her husband about it, who was very strict. That's when I found out the truth. My beloved wife spent those 2 weeks not so much with her friend as with this guy, George. They spent their days and nights together, and he didn't charge her a dime for travel or accommodation. But what's the most interesting part? She had already paid him off with interest, but not by bank transfer. At that moment, I had no other choice. I threw Marina out the door and never wanted to see her again. How could she do that? I did everything for her, and this is how she repaid me. It is quite possible that this was not a one-time event. Perhaps she spent her vacation like this every year. I didn't sleep a wink that night. I just couldn't. But I took the time to leave a review on the page of this private hotel. I didn't invent anything. I wrote everything exactly as it happened. I warned other men never to let their wives go alone.